Facebook and on YouTube.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Carroll County Commissioners Meeting Thursday, August 28th, and will you please join me for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Workner,
Here.
Commissioner Madransky.
Here.
Commissioner Leggett.
Here. Certification by the clerk.
I, April D. Maley, Assistant Clerk 1, certify that the entire recording of the proceedings at the prior meetings are captured completely and accurately in the electronic record and are available at the office.
Motion to approve the summary reporting.
So moved. I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve the travel request.
Move to approve the request. Second.
Any question on this travel request? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve the appropriations.
So moved. I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve appropriation amendments.
Move to approve the amendments. Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. The bills today are $668,804.87. Motion to pay the bills.
So moved. I'll second.
Any questions on the bills? None? Reasoning for the bills today being so high is the annex building, contractor's bill came in this week for the payment. A lot of air conditioning, AC units, heater units have been installed, so that's the reason for the bills to be so high today, so. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to pay the bills without prior.
Move to pay. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve the division order from EAP Holdings LLC for payment for the Folsom Wells located in Harrison Township, Carroll County, which allows the Board of Commissioners to receive royalty payments from said wells and complete descriptions of the wells on file at the Commissioner's office.
So moved. Second.
Any questions on this motion?
No.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve a letter of support for Carroll County Soil and Water Conservation District to the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District for the Partners in Watershed Management Project Assistance Program.
Move to approve the letter of support. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye. Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. A motion to accept proposals for architectural service for the Carroll County Annex Building renovation.
So moved. And I'll second the motion.
Any questions on this motion?
I'll explain. We're going out request for proposals of architectural services for a portion of the annex building that was not included in the original scope of services. This would be a back section of the building that we're trying to secure funding to develop a meeting room center with a kitchen, bathrooms, and entranceway. We are applying for a AMLR grant through the federal program, AMLR program, and this will help us develop a cost estimate for that project to go along with the AMLR grant.
Does this include any of the, I know in the back part of the building, we've got some different
agencies going back in there? Is that just for what you stated, or does this include, for like soil and water?
No, this is just be for the meeting room area and the warming kitchen and the bathrooms and the hallway, which they'll have access to, but it's not their office space.
So the soil and water's already been addressed?
The OSU Extension Office is what's they'll have access to use it.
Okay.
Yeah. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Well, this means fall's coming. Motion to approve a work order for the Carroll County Historical Society for road closed signs, quantity of 2, orange cones, quantity of 4, and 4-inch signs stubs with signposts. We're putting out our quick exit banners, quantity 2, with no charges.
Approve the work order.
Second.
Any discussion on this work motion?
None.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried. Motion to approve 9 permits for EOG Resources Incorporated for installation of natural gas pipeline in various driveways in Augusta Township on Brush, Mallow, and major roads for Norris temporary water lines as recommended by the county engineer.
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried.
Okay. This goes with that. This motion goes with that paper that's in your hand.
So we're done with
Sorry
that
about
one.
that. We're done with this.
So motion to approve the closing approximately 500 feet of Autumn Road, County Road 19, east of the intersection with State Route 332 from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on October 10th, 11th, and 12th, 2025 for the purpose of conducting the annual Wonka Mill Festival. Also to close the same road on Thursday, October 9th, 2025 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to safely set up facilities for the event.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on this motion?
None.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. I have a clerk's report today, Eva.
I have a few things today. I would just like to remind viewers that the courthouse and all non-emergency county offices will be closed Monday, September 1st, 2025 in observance of Labor Day. This information has been shared to the Commissioner's Facebook page. I would also like to advise viewers that bricks from the old Carrollton Elementary School and Carrollton High School buildings will be available soon for anyone that would like them. Piles of the bricks will be across from the old high school office. Don't worry if you don't see any, that means they just aren't out yet and will be added as they become available. Please remember that this is an active work zone, so please do not go beyond the gates as it is not safe. This information has also been shared to the Facebook page. And I would just like to remind viewers that if you have not yet subscribed to the Commissioner's YouTube channel, Carroll County Connect, to go ahead and do that. A link to the channel is available in the About section on the Commissioner's Facebook page. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Eva. Anybody got any questions for Eva? We have in front of us, Jenny Strotter. Are you here just to observe? You are? All right, well, thanks for stopping. Sonia, and you're waiting on the,
I do have a couple questions though, if you don't mind.
go ahead.
How many wells do we have that we receive royalties on for the county?
I can tell you we have 13 that's tied up with, what's it, Racia or Rasha? The company,
Raisa.
Raisa. But as far as acting wells, I do not know off the top of my head. You know, Chris, at all? No?
Are we receiving monthly royalty checks for that too?
Yeah, but you got to remember that some of those are apportioned. So for example, the county home. Um, due to the fact that at the time that the county home property was used for that purpose, there was mentions in the deed that that ground was to be used for, the county home. And so the county home, even though those wells are the names of the commissioners, the county home gets a portion of those proceeds. And it's not enough for them to take and begin to supplant the levy, but it does give them enough money to take and do some capital improvements and various things that they wouldn't be able to do outside of the operating. So they do get some of those funds, and then we've got some of them that we turned over to the townships.
Yeah, quite a few of them.
Yeah, that were originally ours, but we turned them over to the townships so the townships could benefit from those royalty payments.
I was just curious.
So it's a mixed bag.
And then, the next question I had was that grant that you guys are applying for the annex building, what kind of match is that?
The AMLR grant,
Yes,
there's no match.
there's no match.
Anything else?
No, I don't have anything.
Commissioner Workner, you got anything for the meeting today?
Well, this will go back to the fact that we're approaching the time for the Mill Festival. The local emergency planning committee and our EMA has taken up with EOG the fact that there's a lot of activity taking place right across from the mill with that truck traffic. And so the discussions are ongoing with EOG of what is going in the past. Encino had worked to eliminate that traffic for the Mill Festival, and that's essentially what we're doing now with EOG, is finding a way to mitigate that traffic for the time of the mill.
Anything else?
Not this time.
Commissioner Madrasky, you have anything for the board?
Not today.
The only thing I have for the board today is, the health department's roof is completed. The overhang has a roof over it now, so we won't have water running down the inside wall. New railing has been put up. That was not in the project, but the company decided it'd be best if they just put up the new vinyl railing and got rid of the old steel, so you guys don't stop over. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it is.
I have, it looks good.
Yeah, it's completed, so. Other than that, that's all I have for the board today.
The only other thing I would mention on that topic is not only is it functional, it's also pleasing to the eye. I mean, it's one of the few cases where something turned out where you do it for a purpose and at the same time it looks pleasing.
So at this time, I'd make a motion to go into temporary recess until 9:30.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Hi.
Aye, motion's carried.
I didn't bring a person either, sorry.
Need some tissues?
Oh, your wife's got you covered.
Brian. Just take the tissue and you get enough.
All right, 1 second here.
Once.
I didn't bring a person either, sorry.
Ah.
Get some tissues.
Sorry, I had it playing on my phone. 1 second. Okay, Tanya, are you able to unmute yourself? Will it let you?
You are still. You,
I think
you need to stop your screen share.
Okay, that's off. It's not letting her.
are we back on live though?
Yeah, but it's not letting Tanya unmute.
Well,
Go for it.
We good? Okay,
Good?
Yep.
Back live? All right, so it's 9:33. Motion to come back out of temporary recess.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. We're back out of temporary recess. We have Sonia Herbovich. One of these days, I'm gonna get that down to Pat, Transit Director. We're here for a transit public hearing. At this time, I make a motion to open transit public hearing.
So moved.
second, I would like to clarify the purpose of the hearing. So the purpose of the hearing is to determine operating hours of the transit. Is that not correct? Okay, yeah.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Start with you, Sonia.
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming in. What a surprise. Didn't realize I had some employees come in. And as Commissioner Workner stated, it is to propose changing our service hours from 7 to 4. And with that in mind, I'd just like to reiterate or go over the reasoning why it was being proposed. And that was due to the 2026 state fiscal year grant from ODOT being reduced by $77,155 in our operating costs. And then on top of those cuts, we also had taken a ding with the loss of our contract with Council on Aging. And also stated previously, we still receive funds at a general public rate from them, but there's still a significant difference between the contract rate and general public rate. Just to give an example, the month of July, the senior center paid $4,313. And if it were a contract rate, it would have equaled $15,382. So there was a difference of $11,069. And if you add the loss of our operating grant, the reduction, and that, it's a significant part of our budget. And at the last board meeting, you gentlemen asked if I had a bottom line, and I had emailed and said I could do with 115,000. And then since then, I had spoke with Chris and advised him that I didn't take this into consideration at the time, but we are on a state fiscal year, whereas the county is calendar year. And so I wouldn't need that whole 115 right up front. I would really only need about half, which is $57,500.
However, the situation is not anticipated to improve.
Correct, for the year. I mean, I'm just meaning year wise to go off state fiscal year compared to calendar year.
Mhm.
So if I were to have gotten half this year, then I could ask for that at the beginning of the year when we do budgets. And then I also had mentioned that I wasn't going to include any raises for my drivers, except for those that were in a probationary period. And then I even offered Mr. Madransky that I would consider reducing my hours of work just to help reduce operating costs. And with that in mind, Pattersonville, our internet provider, graciously reduced our internet bill $20 per month to help offset with the reduction in grant funds. He stated he's happy to help with this service because he supports our community and believes the transit is a vital service. It may not be much, but every little bit does help. So I'd just like to thank him for doing that act. And then we had touched base on advertising, and I did reach out to a couple advertising agencies. Well, not agencies, people that do the window advertising. And one company does it all. They will go out and look for the information, and the other one just will do the advertising on the windows. So I need to still look further into it. So I don't have a direct answer for that yet. But I'm working on trying to reduce costs in every way. And then I've also received some letters from individuals that utilize transit that, if you don't mind, I would like to read.
Please.
This one is from Miss Rebecca Hostetler. And it says, I heard that you might change your hours, and I was disappointed if you do change your hours. I will very likely not be able to drive with you anymore because I'm at work early in the mornings and later in the afternoons when I get off work. I think the hours you have now, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. is perfect. This one is from Barbara Hostetler. I'm a transit rider, and this is a note concerning the hour change of transit. We rely on transit to get us to work and home, and there are lots of people who rely on transit for doctor and therapy appointments. We sure hope you keep the hours. This is from Mary Tinlin. To the Carroll County Commissioners and Carroll County Transit, I appreciate the transit for all the safe rides they provide and the hours they operate. I would really appreciate it if the hours would be kept at 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., not only for myself, but for the whole community. It is a needed service for everyone, from doctor's appointments to getting to work. Ms. Donna Weaver, to whom it may concern, I really think that your changes you think you have to make are really not necessary. The commissioners have enough money to take care of the necessities. Donna Weaver, think about it. It is the right thing. Oneida Slates, please don't shorten the hours we need transit. Beverly Snyder, please do not change the hours of transit. I need a way to travel to appointments. Thank you so much. Carol Faulkner, please do not change the hours. I like transit, or I ride transit myself. Joyce and Earl Ferguson. wonderful service. Shorter time would not give your appointments. Please keep hours the same as it is now. Sadie Byler, just a note concerning the change of hours. CCT is very good for our community, and changing the hours will affect a lot of people to get to doctor's appointments on time, to school, also to and from work, which is what most of us use the transit for. So please keep the hours the same. Linda Byler, this is a note to let you all know how important Carroll County Transit is for our community, not just for us, but also for the elderly to get to their doctor's appointments. So please keep the Carroll County Transit hours same as before. Two more. My name is Ma Custer. I'm writing in regards to the matter of the Carroll County Transit possibly changing its hours of operations from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday to 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I work at the Carroll County Senior Citizens Friendship Center from 7:30 to 1:30 Monday through Friday. I rely on transit to pick me up each morning by 7 a.m. or earlier and to deliver me before my 7:30 start time. I also take transit back to my home at 1:30 each day, which would not be affected by the afternoon time change, although it might be a problem for others, I expect. We have only one car in our household. The car is 20 years old and is not in reliable condition to use for everyday transportation. My 5.5-hour job is our only source of household income, and we are not able to afford the cost and expense of another vehicle at this time. If I cannot rely on the county transit system to transport me to my job by 7:30 each day, I will be at risk of losing my job and therefore our only household income. I therefore ask you to consider finding ways to keep the 6 to 6 operations in place as they currently are. If that is not feasible, I would ask you to consider making special arrangements for your existing customers who need earlier and later transit services daily. And the last one I have is Jim McGarry. My name is Jim McGarry and I live at the senior apartments at Carroll Court. I have heard of a committee meeting scheduled for later this month. I believe that was the public hearing he was talking about. And I thought I would like to express my thoughts regarding possible reduction in the county transit operating hours. I am not usually one to offer my opinions because I do expect our elected and appointed representatives to look out for the well-being of our seniors and children. Unfortunately, in the current times we are in, it is getting increasingly uneasy for the seniors in this country regarding losing benefits and other policies in place that make life a little easier for us. Carroll County Transit has become a lifeline safety net for many seniors in Carroll County. I am sure you are aware Carroll County seems to be aging. The seniors need to go to doctor's appointments at the convenience of the doctors and the hospitals more often than not. I have been told that the hours of operations for the transit will be reduced from 7 to 7 to 4. The problem I find with this is that the hospitals are around 45 minutes to an hour away. By the time the drivers are ready to be on the road and pick up a client and get to the hospital, they would be late to several appointments. I also know riding with some of the local Amish residents that this would greatly complicate their working lives where they depend on transit for some of their livelihood. What about the school children with special needs? For that matter, what about the school children without special needs? I could go on and on, but I'm sure you see what I mean. My life has been a lot easier by using transit. I have no family to depend on, and even if I did, they should not be burdened because I am old. Believe me, no one escapes old age. I hope the committee thinks long and hard whether saving a few bucks is worth all the pain it can cause. I just wanted to see if you would convey my comments to the committee, hoping they will leave the hours the way they are for transit. It's working, why fix it? Thank you for taking the time to read my comments. I had plenty of time to write them. I am retired.
So that last letter speaks on a avenue of discussion that I think we should take up now, and that is this. We've already established that cutting the hours is not going to solve the budget problem. And we've already established that cutting the hours would be counterproductive because it's not going to solve the budget problem. Not even going to begin to dent the budget problem. And yet it invites a host of problems that come with cutting the hours. So I want to get out on the record at this point in time for myself. I'm not in favor of cutting the hours because one, it doesn't solve the purpose of alleviating the budget problem, and it opens up a host of other issues. So that's my take on the matter.
I'm not wanting to cut the hours myself also. I think the savings was not even comparable to even trying it. When you're trying to make something work, you definitely don't cut the hours, just keep working at it. So that's my take on cutting the hours.
In my years of being in this office, I'm excited. I've never seen this much community engagement or something. So this is really special. I agree. The saving, I'll say there is no savings by cutting the hours because you're just saving the salary of the employees, but you're also getting rid of the revenue that would come in from the drivers or from the ridership. So it doesn't make sense to cut the hours. Well, we got to come up with a way to meet the budget. And I don't know exactly what that is yet. I think we're gonna have to get creative with advertising or combining rides or what we've got to do, how we can do it. But I guess also we've got several people here in the gallery. I think it's important that we hear what they have to say too, is I think there's some people online too, so I don't want to.
If you
I want
could,
to
if
cut
you
the public hearing short.
if you could just state your name for the record, so we know. Everybody knows who's here.
Well, you can
All
pick how
right.
you want to start it.
We'll just move right down the road. We have Jeannie Strotter that has come to express her feelings and
Yes,
explore.
okay, well, I'm here because I do think that the transit is a very valuable community service, not only for the town of Carroll, but actually the whole Carroll County, seniors. And I'm involved with, I have a mother who's a senior who routinely uses transit and really, really appreciates that service. It's, affordable and it works for the hours that she needs to have them. Primarily she uses it later in the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock and so on. So if it was cut, it would greatly impact some of the things that she can do. So, and of course, my husband works for transit part-time. So now that would also make a difference in our family, and we're both seniors as well. So at this point in time, we don't necessarily need to use it as a riding. That may come in the future, you don't know. So I think it's an important service. And I agree with a lot of the letters that were read that understand that budget things need to be addressed. And you can't just be losing money at this, but it's a very valuable thing. The 6A to 6P is necessary for a lot of people. That's why I'm here. I want to listen to these concerns and see what can be addressed.
Thank you for being here.
Yep, thank you. We'll move on to Larry Strotter. He's hiding back there behind the.
I am Larry Strotter. I'm here to support transit. I think that it is very valuable to our community. We have people that have seen our notices that we put on about the meeting. I'm surprised there's not more people here. Because a lot of them actually have teared up because they're afraid they're gonna lose a ride. I know that you guys have budgets and all that stuff that you have to take care of, but the seniors in this community are not getting younger and they need this valuable service that we're providing for them. And I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to drive, but I may have to be your rider one of these days. And I just don't know where you're gonna come up with the money, but I think there needs to be a focused attempt to help us out here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. Next person is Glenn Apel, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's get over so you can see.
All right.
Good morning, my name is Glenn Appel, and I've been a part-time transit driver for a decade. During that time, I've witnessed transit being a lifeline for people to get to the jobs, healthcare, essential services. I'm here basically to support transit and also to convey what riders often tell me how appreciative their gratitude for the service. I was just hoping that we could work something out. I apologize for being redundant for the letters, but basically they covered what my thoughts were. We can get this resolved.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Now we're gonna move on to David Lehman. I'm gonna give you the floor.
My name's David Lehman. First say that I appreciate transit for helping get to my appointments and things that I have to do. I also appreciate you commissioners for hearing this matter. I do agree with many of the things mentioned in the letters. For me, a lot of my appointments are not in this local area. So the time that it takes for transit to get me where I need to be is more extensive. So I definitely rely on the transit because I don't drive right now. But I'm not from this area. I was born in Akron, and there's not a lot of options as far as being transported if you are like in a power wheelchair like me. But I want to propose that hours be extended because, in my opinion, imagine if you were only boxed in to go somewhere from Monday through Friday from 6 to 6 o'clock. Really, it's not 6 to 6 because they have to be back earlier. But that would greatly impact your life. And then even the weekends, just not being able to go to church, or whatever you have to do on the weekend. And I also think that that might increase revenue for the transit itself. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels that way.
All right, that's some good points. Take that into consideration.
Thanks for that, sharing that, Dave. I've relied on transit myself several times. Luckily, fortunately, I'm lucky enough to have my own vehicle and be able to drive myself right now, but that doesn't mean that when it breaks down, I don't rely on transit. And I totally understand what you mean by there's no evening service, no weekend service, because then when my vehicle is down, you're basically trapped, imprisoned in your own dwelling during that time. Completely understand what you're saying. Thank you for sharing.
At this time, I'm gonna ask Eva to step in. Here we might have some Facebook remarks if Eva wants to.
Yes, we do, but I believe Tanya would like to speak, so I'll let her go first.
All right, Dawn, you got the floor.
Good morning. I'm sorry for the background noise. So I just wanted to say, first of all, obviously, I think the service is very, very valuable, a million times over. If you didn't get the repetition of things, the majority, I would say 90% of the people that showed their support were seniors and even one of my staff, which I appreciate. I just wanted to take 1 second on the platform to clarify. I feel like people are we're unfortunately getting a little bit of a bad rap in this situation, the senior center, and that shouldn't be happening in this, just in the fact that I feel that it should be recognized that we probably did as many transportation in the month of August, if not more, because of the increased price. We did pick up a lot of new clients because of the increased price. So yes, we are continuing to serve our seniors for transportation, and we will do so as long as we can afford to do that. That being said, we did choose not to do the contract. I hate that. I apologize for that, but I run a meal business, not the transportation business. So I apologize and wanted to use the platform just to say that. That being said, a million times over, we will continue to pay for our seniors to go. We want them to have as long hours as possible because it is hard for them to get to those appointments in the time frame. We do encourage them to try to do theirs between 10 and 2, but if there's dialysis patients and things like that, we don't have that opportunity to pick and choose. Any specialists, we don't have the opportunity to pick and choose. And we do, when our seniors call in for the appointments, we try to explain to them if it's a regular, like scheduled appointment, a checkup or something, to try to use that, the easier time to get transit for. That being said too, we just want to continue to support the services. I also serve on the TAC board, which Sonia knows. We actually haven't met for a little bit, I think just because of holidays, summer, whatever. But if you know me, my brain does not stop. So there are some opportunities that I would just like to share, which would be grants, fundraising, advertising on the vehicles. These are all things that I'm learning here at the Meals on Wheels conference that we're at, because those are what other counties and states do. Also insurance contracts, AAA funds, things like that, that might be available to transit. And if I can help guide or, help in any way to connect anyone with those, I would be glad to. And then just, again, any support that we can use, do to help. I thank transit. I thank their staff. I thank everybody for the services. Our community needs it. And I hope that we can give them as many hours as we can. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Tanya.
Tanya.
So Tanya, I appreciate your comments and also appreciate your willingness to reach out and assist with whatever insights you might have that can help the bottom line.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to Eva with the online comments.
Yes, we have 2 comments so far. Ed Hale commented and said Carroll County Transit is a beneficial asset for the county's citizens to utilize, and at times the only transportation available. Keep the transit wheels moving. And we had another viewer comment. His name is James Fisher, and he said, then please raise the price to ride. And that is all we have so far online.
All right. Thanks, Eva.
At the risk of being redundant, the purpose of today's hearing was hours of operation.
Correct.
And I think the board has made it clear that we're not in favor of reducing hours.
I'll make a motion that we do not reduce the hours of transit.
I'll second that motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion's carried. On to the next part of the discussion. We need to proceed with anything else besides the hours, or at this time, seek to come back for some resolution, how we're gonna solve it.
Well, the elephant in the room is the budget shortfall. And the budget shortfall there are many ways to take and begin to attack that problem. And the very first thing I would suggest, Sonia, is we've got Tanya's has graciously volunteered to give you some insight into what she has, and I would take advantage of that.
Yes, I did write some things down.
And I think that what needs to happen now is begin to address the budget shortfall and look at I think it's going to be a totality of circumstances. When I say a totality of circumstances, I don't think you're going to be able to pick one item and say, okay, here magically, we're going to save $100 and some odd thousand dollars.
Oh, you're definitely right.
And so I think what we need to do is begin to chip away at that budget shortfall every way possible.
When do you receive your state fiscal budget?
July 1st is the
Of
beginning.
2026?
Yes, no, 2025.
2025 is when you receive that?
Yes,
Okay, so you're in that budget shortfall
yes,
now?
correct.
Okay. I just,
They said that it would last the whole grant year,
okay.
so.
I'm just trying to establish a timeline of when basically when you're gonna run out of money. So it'll be this year, not next.
Correct.
Time is of the essence for sure.
Yeah. All right.
And you're currently working with trying to get information from two different window advertisers,
One does everything.
which might be the best option.
And that was, cause I put out a mass email to transits and there was 4 close around here that do utilize that company, so.
Okay.
So do they get their money by a percentage of what advertisement they sell?
That's why I need to,
Okay. Probably more than likely.
So Tanya, you able to hear okay? So it's my understanding that you had some insights on advertising as well as other grant opportunities?
No, I was just suggesting that there would be other grant opportunities out there. I took a grant class while I was here. So I have some suggestions that I can share with Sonia that I also learned. There's a grant network that's like, it costs $199 a month to do. Well, guess what? You can do it for 14 days for free. When you get on there, it then, apparently what I was told by several people in the grant group was you get on there, you do it for 13 days, you cancel your membership, and then it didn't charge you anything. And then you get a bunch of grant invites from that are pertaining to what your services were, because you went in there and checked what your services were and things like that. So it doesn't cost you anything. And it also doesn't take you tons of time to go out and find like a Google search for a grant that's not going to help you. It's pertaining especially to what you need. So I'm just learning about it too, but maybe it would help both of us.
Outstanding.
All right. Anything else?
Everyone here is saying about the advertising being the key. So if they could get the advertisements on the vans, I think that is a good option. And Sonia, you did best by asking every other transit. But if you need help for me to check with the ones in the area agency 9 region, I'd be glad to do that for you too.
thank you.
Well,
Yep.
every bus that I see up in Canton or Akron or anywhere is just plastered with advertising. So those organizations must feel it's worthwhile to do so.
Anything else coming for this board for this hearing?
Are we gonna close?
Yes, we are. At this time, I'd make a motion to close the transit public hearing.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried.
Thank everyone
Yeah.
that's come in. Because we normally don't see this kind of community participation. Even having said that, I will share that I had business owners and other individuals approach me personally whose hours of operation are during the time that we have the hearing But they wanted to make sure that I understood what their comments were. And it was overwhelming that they didn't want to see the hours.
I've definitely had the same, so.
Thank you, Sonia, for collecting all those letters.
I thank my staff for. Because, and that's the reason that I did have the letters, because they couldn't attend the meeting as so. But thanks for listening to everybody's concerns. We'll figure something out.
Can I ask another question? So what I'm hearing is if you look into the advertising thing and you look into some of the grant things that, like Tanya was bringing up, is there going to be more budget things to look into? You know, this gentleman brought up extending hours and raising costs on weekends. If you, you know, just other options like that, are you only gonna look at a couple of things so far, see how that impacts it? And then maybe go further with it, or?
I think the most important task right now is to fund it so we can keep the hours what they currently are, and then look in the future to extend it.
Just to deal with primarily the two
Right.
projects in this.
Make sure we can keep it solvent right now,
Okay.
and then we can look at the future to see how we can expand services.
And if we do, sorry to interrupt, if we do expand services, we have to hold another public hearing because we just can't,
You just can't,
Yeah.
right?
you just can't change it. It has to get approved through ODOT as well as the Board of Commissioners.
Well, and we don't know. By fully exploring what other grant opportunities are out there, we might find that there's a lot of open doors that could lead us to all kinds of opportunities.
It could
We
be
just
that
don't know until you explore them.
Extending the hours could be grants for it, who knows?
It may be something as simple as on the weekends is an on-demand service
Yeah.
too, instead of like a route, you know, you may have some weekends that nobody wants to ride. Other weekends, you might have an appointment schedule, so you have one driver come in, handle that one appointment, and then be done. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if ODOT would allow that.
If we're going to I will say this, if we are going to give a ride on a Saturday between such and such, if somebody else calls in, I have to be able to take them as well.
Sure.
Which would mean I would need dispatch, I would need the whole thing there, but that's something we could look into. Yes.
Well, I agree with Chris. The primary thing is to address the elephant in the room. And then by addressing that elephant, we might learn of other opportunities that will be available to us.
I believe
All
Tanya may also have something else to say. She did raise her hand on the Zoom on this end.
Thanks, Eva. I just wanted to say again, like, I feel like all the conversations are a lot for our seniors. So I just want to reassure our seniors that you still have your transportation rides. Nothing's changing at this point. And it's important for them to know that. Just schedule them like normal and that everything, you know, is going to be the same for now. So because they're the whole contract versus us not paying for it, which it's just confusing to them. So I want them to know that we're still paying for the transportation and supportive services at the same hours at this time. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. All right, any other business coming before this board at this time?
Motion we adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried.